Hey everybody, Rob here with Backpacking Adventures.
And I'm the GreyGorilla.
Today we thought we'd talk a little bit about site selection and how to set up a hammock when you're out backpacking. Stay tuned. The first thing we're going to cover off is site selection, and there's 4 basic principles we wanted to talk about. The first one, always look up. Take a look and be aware of widowmakers. A widowmaker is any dead branch or tree that's hanging up above that could potentially fall on you and hurt you and or kill you.
The second thing that you want to pay attention to is your terrain. You need to be aware that the cold air tends to settle into lower areas at night. So areas along creeks or streams tend to be a little cooler than they would be. At the same time, you want to stay away from open ridge lines or tops of hills or knolls where there might be wind blowing through your camp. So pick somewhere kinda in the middle. You'll be happier that way. The third thing you want to pay attention to is look down at the ground. You want to be paying attention to any game trails that might be in the area. You don't want to span your hammock or your tarp across the trail where bullwinkle might run into you in the middle of the night.
The last thing is the distance between your trees. When you're hammock camping, getting the right distance between your trees. Let's take a look at that right now. We're going to set up between these 2 trees right here. There's a couple of different methods you can use, and as you gain more experience, it'll become easier. I tend to take my hiking poles and my arms and reach out, and I want to make sure that I've got just a little bit more room between my 2 trees than what my arms and my hiking poles work out to be. Another easy way to do it is just pace off between your places. The average step for an adult is about 3 feet, so you want to get somewhere between 4-5 steps between your 2 trees. The next thing you've got to do is you got to make a decision. What comes first, Chris? The hammock or the tarp?
Depends on your situation, I guess.
I prefer to always set my tarp up. When it's raining out, you've got to get your tarp set up first, so you've got a dry place to unpack and get everything out. So I just prefer to stay in that same routine and habit and get my tarp set up. How about you?
A lot of times I like to hang my hammock first. Just the way I roll, so, you know, to each their own. I guess you'll have to figure it out on your own.
That's right. Let's get the, seeing as how it's backpacking adventures, let's get the tarp set up first.
All right.
When I set my tarp up, I always set the ridge line of my tarp up a little bit higher than my head. The reason I set my tarp up head height is so I don't have to bend over while I'm underneath it.
So on a beautiful day like today when the sun's shining and there's no chance of rain, you might as well leave your tarp right up in the snakeskins. That way, if it turns out to stay like this, you can just enjoy a night under the stars.
Hammock camping's been around a long time, and some of the advice that others passed along to people that are relatively new like myself is it's best to have your foot end about 5 to 6 inches or so higher than your head end. That'll prevent you from sliding down in your hammock. Here in the Northeast, where I do most of my hiking, I tend to go with 4-foot length huggers. Sometimes it's a little bit too short, and as you saw on the head end, I just use the Amstel going through my Dutch clip. Down here, the tree's a little bit smaller diameter, and I just double wrap it around the tree.
As you can see, the foot end of Rob's hammock is a little bit higher than the head end. Alright guys, this has been a quick demonstration on how to select a hammocking site and how to set up your system. Look at this guy. Looks like I'm gonna have to end this one for him. Thanks for watching guys. See you on the trail.